It's the Thursday Morning House Call with Dr. Lane Aiena. Brought to you by Huntsville Memorial Hospital.
Good morning. Big Len with you in studio with me is Dr. Lane Aiena. Good morning, Dr. Lane.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Fantastic. The birds are singing. The weather is great. A little windy, but hey.
A little windy. Can be a little warm for my taste right at that part of the year. But hey, my grass is greening up. The leaves are coming back on my plants. So that's nice. It's been nice to see a little life come back to the yard.
And you can spend some time outside. And you can have your smoker going outside. And you can have some,
Absolutely.
Beef.
Hey, man, if I'm going to meal prep, which is a great segue to the episode, if I'm going to meal prep, let's use that smoker pit. This is our last episode in February, and I've really enjoyed having a theme. I think I might try to do that more often. And the theme for this month has been heart health, since it's Heart Health Awareness Month. So today, I thought it would be fun to put a little cherry on top by giving some good advice, some good tips that you can start today so that you can keep that momentum going through the rest of the year. This is objectively the nicest time of the year to start walking, and that's going to be one of our tips. And if you're going to build a habit, and it takes the number changes every week, but let's say 30 days. If it takes around 30 days to build a habit, you got 30 days of nice weather ahead of us. Let's get it started, folks. So before we start this, I also want to kind of talk about one of the things I talk to my patients a lot about. One of the things I see a lot is it's all or nothing with diet and health, and we have to move away from that. And I am just as guilty as anybody. I try to have a no hypocrisy rule as a physician, as a radio host, but sometimes the hypocrisy sneaks in. Just because you had a bad breakfast doesn't mean you need to eat badly for the rest of the day. Just because you didn't exercise today doesn't mean you don't need to exercise for the rest of the week. It's not all or nothing. So let's talk about some 10-minute quick changes that research has shown can help you. First and foremost, moving, exercise. We've talked about it all week. Just because you can't get a 30-minute brisk walk-in doesn't mean do nothing. Get a 10-minute walk-in after dinner. Go play with your kids for 10 minutes. Miles and my kids have this game that their Aunt Bethany got them. Her birthday's coming up. Happy birthday, Bethany. Where it's a camera and you jump and you move. And I did it with Miles for 10 minutes and I kind of forgot about it. My legs were sore the next day and I was like, what did I do? So just little 10-minute things like that, research has shown helps your heart health. Jumping on the trampoline. I don't love it. My kids love it. If I can drag myself out there, that's great exercise. So things like that. Work in 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be running your 5K every day. Go do something. What about eating? Just because you're not being vegan all day doesn't mean you don't have to try something. I'm a low carb guy. We've talked about it on the air. If I could swap out that roll for some broccoli, that's a huge. I've saved calories. I've saved carbs. And I would venture to guess that if you look at your lunch and your dinner today, you can find some pretty easy swaps. Meal prepping makes that easier. We talked about that earlier in the show. When I meal prep, I do my chicken, I do my broccoli, I do my cauliflower, whatever makes it easy. That's what I'm getting for lunch. That's what I have in the fridge. That's what I'm eating. If you didn't and you're maybe at a restaurant and you're picking, maybe you don't need those mashed potatoes. Maybe those steamed veggies with a little salt, a little pepper, not too much salt. We're watching heart health. Will be just as good and you'll feel better about yourself after you eat it. What about monitoring your health? That doesn't have to be a huge endeavor. When's the last time you checked your blood pressure? Genuinely, when's the last time you took a look at it? It's called the silent killer. We're talking about cardiovascular health. Stop over at your pharmacy. Put your arm in that little tube of truth there and see what it tells you. I bet if you dug around your house, you could probably find your old blood pressure cuff. See if you can find it. Get it on there. See what it's running. Maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised, or maybe you'll realize I should start doing those things Dr. Aiena talked about on the air today. That would be a great way to stay motivated and put some numbers. I know that when I see numbers, when I see something objective telling me it's time to get healthy, that pushes me a lot harder than just I need to get around to it sometime. And then lastly, we've talked about this week too, is sleep. Just do something tonight, some little thing that you think will help you. Okay, I don't need to stare at my phone until the second I go to bed. My goal tonight is start with 10 minutes. Then get to the ideal 30 of I'm going to read a magazine. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to listen to music. Sleep is such an important part of heart health that we don't focus on. Again, just as a reminder, not sleeping chronically increases insulin resistance, increases stress levels, increases blood pressure, all of which are bad for the old ticker. Sleep is so critical. A few little 10-minute changes will build over time, and eventually your sleep hygiene, your sleep health will improve, which will help your overall health. So there it is, folks. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. As we're finishing out Heart Health Month, pick a few things we talked about on the air today, make it part of your routine today, and start building on them to really increase your health as the days and weeks go on.
Fantastic advice from Dr. Lane Aiena. All right, well, that is this week's edition of the Thursday Morning House Call, brought to you by Huntsville Memorial Hospital.
Let's keep Huntsville healthy.